Oh, he just like me. He just like me for real.
Alright, so I'm pretty sure you've seen someone on Discord, TikTok, or Twitter with a profile picture looking like this, or this, and even this. I even bet some of you watching this video right now are using something similar. Hell, look at my profile picture. I call this recurring trend the Hinedere Renaissance. But it's honestly more like the Edgelord Renaissance. Now, you're probably like, Delamo, what's a Hinedere? Well, a Hinedere is a character who is usually cold, quiet, and cynical. On the outside, they have the classic resting bitch face, but deep down, they typically have a kind and soft side that is only shown to those they are comfortable with. The word Hinedere comes from the Japanese word hine, which means to twist, and the word deredere, which means lovey-dovey. I also saw that it could come from the word hineru instead of hine, which means to turn or to puzzle over. I don't know which one is right, but you get my point. Combining this, the word roughly translates to twisty love. Honestly, that low-key makes sense if you know these type of characters. Speaking of which, some popular Hinedere characters are Hachiman Higagaya from Oregairu, Oreki Hotaro from Hyoka, Kiyotaka Aya no Koji from Classroom Delete, Hion from The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Killua Zoldyck from Hunter x Hunter, we don't pronounce the X here guys, and the original Edgelord himself, Sasuke Uchiha. Also, just to know, when referring to Hinedere characters, people mainly think of male characters, but female characters can also be Hinederes. Just take a look at C2 from Code Geass and Yukino from Oregairu. All of these characters I mentioned exhibit Hinedere energy, and if you watch any of these shows, you guys know why. There are a shit ton of videos out there that do an amazing job analyzing each of these characters, and if you watch a few of them, you guys can see a pattern here. I'll give you a quick example. Take Oreki, Hachiman, and Aya no Koji. They all have pretty cynical views on the world and are cold-hearted. Look at Oreki's motto of
やらなくてもいいことならやらない。やらなければいけないことなら手短に。
Hachiman's monologue at the start of the show.
青春とは嘘であり、悪である。
And Aya no Koji's monologue about allies to Horihita.
俺はお前を仲間だと思ったことはない。お前も、櫛田も。
But like other Hinederes, their hard exterior can slowly come off after another character slowly breaks through it, most commonly a love interest. In the case of Aya no Koji though, I honestly haven't watched the show, but I've never seen that man smile in anything. I guess he's just built different. These characters usually pair well with Genki or Deredere characters since this type of duo usually has great dynamics since they're almost complete opposites. It's also interesting seeing a Hinedere's hard exterior being broken slowly over time by these characters. You can check out my video on Genki Girl specifically after if you're interested in these type of anime characters. Now, why are there so many people using these type of profile pictures, me included, and even in the worst case scenarios, trying to beat these characters IRL? Look, I guarantee you if you join a decent sized Discord server, you'll find a profile picture of a Hinedere in like 10 seconds. Just take a look. It could just simply be that we like those characters, similar to how sports fans have profile pictures of their favorite player, or how K-pop stans have profile pics of their favorite bias. Actually, with K-pop fans, it's probably something else entirely, but let's not get into that right now. With the Hinedere profile pictures on the other hand, I think there's something more than just liking those certain characters. Now, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but my theory is that it comes down to one simple thing. Relatability. Yeah, what a shocker, I know. Let me elaborate further. I want you to find a pattern here. When it comes down to characters like Oreki, Hachiman, and Aya no Koji, what do they have in common? Now there are many things you could say, but I want to talk about how they're in high school. They fall into the high school loner protagonist trope. I'm sure a big portion of people have attended high school, and I'm sure many of those people have probably felt lonely sometime during high school. The familiarity people feel when watching these characters strikes a big chord in them. It's the experiences, choices, and personalities we see in these characters that feel very relatable. It's only natural for us to show off these characters in our profile since we feel like we are represented in a positive light through certain characters. We don't feel like people will judge us harshly, and these characters are usually liked by the anime community for the most part. This brings us a sense of representation for our experiences and way of thinking, making us feel that we aren't alone in the struggles we face in life, providing us with inspiration in order to persevere through the many hardships in our way. I'm talking specifically about Hinedere characters in this instance, but this phenomenon is also a thing we see in many different types of anime characters and isn't only exclusive to Hinederes obviously. But I wanted to talk specifically about this type of character in particular because I do also feel a similar way, and I haven't seen too many videos on this type of thing since it's sometimes usually seen as kind of cringe saying, I relate to this fictional character. But obviously there's a healthy way to go about this and not to take things very literally since we all have different experiences and lives. I would recommend Duplexzimes, however you pronounce it, video on why anime characters are relatable if you want a deeper and more fleshed out explanation on why we find anime characters in general to be relatable, but I personally just want to talk about Hinedere characters in particular. At the end of the day, you can use whatever profile picture you want, unless it's like illegal or something, but my main point was to explain the pattern of Hinederes being relatable and use the main profile pictures. I noticed this pattern since I am guilty of this too, and I thought it would be interesting to explain this phenomenon since I haven't seen anyone else explain it. If a psychologist or something is somehow watching this video and would like to give some input, that would be amazing. So to leave you guys with something inspirational and to sum up this video, I'll read this quote by the young, highly acclaimed author, That Chaos Guy. He just like me for real.